Tyre Nichols. On January 7th, Tyre Nichols was pulled over by the police. Police initially stated that the traffic stop was due to reckless driving, but later Memphis Police Chief said the footage showed no evidence of probable cause for the traffic stop. Officers opened Tyre's driver door, pull him out, and wrestle him to the ground as Tyre says, "I didn't do anything." Several officers try to forcefully pin Tyre to the ground while shouting threats as Tyre tells them, "Okay, I'm on the ground. Put your hands behind your back before I break them," the police says. Seconds later, officers appeared to use a stun gun on Tyre. He breaks free and starts running in the direction of his mother's home, less than 80 yards away. One of the body cam videos released showed Tyre later on the ground. Officers slap and push Tyre while he screams, "Mom!" A struggle ensues during which Tyre is kicked at least twice in the face, beaten 3 times with a baton, sprayed in the face with chemical, and punched in the head 6 times, all within 3 minutes. Tyre is then dragged to a nearby car and propped up in a seated position. At one point, he slumps down and the officer props him back up. 2 medics then arrive, although it takes them almost 16 minutes to provide any aid to Tyre. Meanwhile, the officers stand around chatting. Tyre's last words were him calling out to his mother. He died in the hospital 3 days later. 5 of the police officers who were involved, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, sure to fuck the name Emmett up, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith were fired. The officers were charged on Thursday with second-degree murder and kidnapping, among other charges. Tyre was a father of a 4-year-old girl. He loved to skateboard, and he recently enrolled into a photography class to help support Tyre's family. Tap in with his GoFundMe. Damn. Man, y'all know what to do, man. That's Vinnie Dwayne. We back with another Vinnie Dwayne reaction. Make sure y'all hop in the comment section, hit the subscribe button, man. Hit the like button. Let's get straight to it, man. This story is crazy, man. How your bones feel, man? Let's get straight to it, man. And here's everything you need to know about Tyre Nichols. You feel me?
He didn't have a negative bone in his body, like at all. Energetic, outgoing, funny, goofy, always had a smile on his face. He could have gave him the name Cheeseburger.
My son, I know everybody say mothers say they had a good son, everybody's son is good, but my son, he actually was a good boy. My son loved me to death. And I know that was a bad word, but that's how he felt.
We know what you mean. Yes, ma'am.
He had my name tattooed on his arm, and that made me proud, because most kids don't put their mom's name. But he did. On a Saturday, my son would wake up. He'd go to Shelby Farms, because he liked to skateboard. That was his passion. He's been skating since he was 6 years old. That day, when he left around 3 o'clock, going to Shelby Farms to watch the sunset and take pictures.
I want Tyre to be remembered. This is a great kid. I want kids and other people to know ain't nothing wrong with being yourself. Tyre brought something out of me to make me feel like, hey, you don't have to do that. You don't have to follow a trend to be loved. You can be yourself. You can skateboard, you can ice hockey, you can do whatever that you want to do. And people will still love you.
All I know is my son was a great, great kid. He didn't deserve what he got. Now what he deserves is justice.
I asked if I can go to the hospital. They told me no. They left. My husband and I, we got in our car and we went to go see if we could find Ty, because he wasn't answering his phone or anything. When I asked them where my son was, they said nearby. Nearby? What is nearby? I got nothing from them. Now that I'm actually putting things together, I believe they were trying to cover it up when they first came to my door. So around 4 o'clock in the morning, the doctors called from St. Francis and said Mrs. Wells, do you know your son's in the hospital? And I said, yes. I was advised by the police officers. He said, why aren't you here? And I said, the police officers said that I couldn't come because he was under arrest. The doctor proceeded to tell me that my son had went into cardiac arrest and that his kidneys were failing. This doesn't sound consistent to somebody being tased or pepper sprayed. When my husband and I got to the hospital and I saw my son, he was already gone. They had beat him to a pulp. He had bruises all over him. His head was swollen like a watermelon. His neck was busting because of the swelling. They broke his neck. My son's nose looked like an S. They actually just beat the crap out of him. And so when I saw that, I knew my son was gone then. Even if he did live, he would have been a vegetable. So once I got to the hospital, all the police officers were basically whisked out because I heard that the TBI had taken over the investigation, and that was it. They spoke to us, asked a bunch of questions, but I knew something wasn't right. I just didn't understand why they stopped my son in the first place.
You said that you thought from the initial time when they contacted you that they were trying to cover up. Why did you think that?
Well, I didn't think that initially. As I started getting information, and information was coming to me, because they made it seem like the stop and the start and the stop of was at a certain location, when actually they were less than 80 feet from my home.
You talked about what you saw. Now, I hate to bring this up, but I just have to be honest. You know Emmett Till?
Yes.
It's reminiscent of that.
I haven't seen the video.
I'm talking about what you saw when you went to the hospital.
Oh, yes. Yes. That was terrible.
Dad, would you agree with that?
Oh, most definitely. Because I'm the one who took the picture that's being circulated. And I took the picture because he was in such horrific condition. He shouldn't have been in that condition from pepper spray and tasing.
He was never conscious. Never.
No.
You said you believe if he lived, he would have been a vegetable.
Yes.
Defense attorney for one of the now former officers, Desmond Mills, released a statement yesterday saying that he arrived late to the incident and suggested he couldn't see after getting pepper sprayed. Here's the quote: "We are confident that the questions of whether Desmond crossed the lines that others crossed and whether he committed crimes charged will be answered with a resounding no." Are you confident that all of these officers will be convicted of murder?
I believe they all will be convicted of crimes. Whether all of them are going to be convicted with murder, we have to continue to dissect this video. But one thing is for certain, Dana, all of these officers failed their oath. They failed their oath to protect and serve. Look at that video. Was anybody trying to protect and serve Tyre Nichols? And, you know, the fact that they've all been charged and fired immediately and swiftly, the police chief said that the community needed to see swift action. They needed to see swift justice when it was these 5 black police officers caught committing a crime on tape. Well, in our community, we say this is the blueprint going forward. Whether the officers are black or white, we expect to see swift action and swift justice, even if it's a white police officer that abuse us.
What does justice actually mean in this case?
Well, certainly it's about his family having criminal culpability and civil accountability. But as his mother says so passionately, she believes Tyre was sent on an assignment from God, and that's what she has to believe to try to cope with this tragedy. And shame on us if we don't use his tragic death to finally get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed. We told President Biden that when he talked to us because, he should marshal the United States Senate with Senator Booker, Senator Schumer, and they should try to get the House to re-engage. If not, Dana, we're going to continue to see hashtag.
So justice in this case, what you were saying is systemic, real change. Can you legislate change in the culture of police departments? Can that be done in Washington?
You know, what Dr. King said, you know, I can't stop a man from hating me, but the law can stop a man from killing me and make sure they have consequences. And so they can do something, Dana Bash. They got to try. We haven't had federal police reform since President Lyndon Baines Johnson, Great Society. It didn't happen with Rodney King. It didn't happen with Michael Brown and Ferguson. And it didn't happen with George Floyd. How many of these tragedies do we have to see on video before we say we have a problem, America?
Damn. It's just something that ain't, something ain't right about this, bro. Something is not right. It seemed like it was some type of setup or something like that, bro. Just why'd they all jump on him like that, and he wasn't even the aggressor. He didn't come off as a threat. You know, he was clearly submitting to anything that they wanted him to do. He was showing no aggression, you know what I'm saying? So this something ain't right about this, bro. Something is not right. We gonna find out, though. We gonna find out. Make sure y'all hop in the comment section, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's Vinnie Dwayne. We back with another Vinnie Dwayne reaction. How your bones feel, man? Let's get straight to it.